third meeting this season between the Lakers and Nuggets. They split the first two with the road team winning each by more than 20. These teams, part of a 4-team pack, separated by one game from second to the fifth spot out west. That is critical here because the Lakers right now not in a good place. They've lost 3 in a row, tying their longest losing streak this season. They're 0-2 since LeBron's been out with a groin injury. This is game number 2 of a stretch of 6 games in an 8-day span. That is 3 back-to-backs that they're dealing with. And Dave McMenamin is on the scene and joins us now in Denver. Lakers, as we talk about this, what are you hearing out of this locker room after their blowout loss last night, Dave?
Yeah, Kevin, they are so depleted for tonight's game in Denver. You mentioned, obviously, LeBron James has been out. No Rui Hachimura, no starting center Jackson Hayes. Luka Doncic isn't playing tonight. And also we have Gabe Vincent and Dorian Finney-Smith both listed as doubtful. This is going to be a very depleted bench for the Lakers tonight. Austin Reeves talked about it last night. He said that no one's going to feel sorry for us. Everyone's going to go on out and beat us by 30 because we're the Lakers, and we just got to figure it out. Dorian Finney-Smith said, we want to be a great team, and that's what great teams do. They figure it out. Now, J.J. Redick was left quoting his high school coach after last night. He said, great teams, you got to play hard, and you got to play smart. Last night, he thought they played hard against the Bucks. He didn't think they played smart. Maybe they can get that combo tonight against Denver, at least feel good about themselves based on the players that they have on the court, and then to get a quick rest before going back to L.A. for a back-to-back Sunday and Monday against Phoenix and San Antonio.
And right now, doing this all without LeBron James. Let me tell you, they continue to lose, and he is our former colleague, but J.J. Redick is a quote machine after these post games. Feeling really down right now. Dave McMenamin covering the Lakers as they get ready to face the Nuggets. Here's what we've heard right now. And when we talk about who's playing, 7 players averaging a combined 89 points are out tonight for the Lakers. That leaves them with 1 player available tonight averaging double figures in scoring this season. Austin Reeves, it's your team. The rest of the projected starting lineup, you can see that. And Dalton Connect, a guy that was traded and then came back after the trade failed with the Hornets. It's not good. Now they have to face the Nuggets, El.
Yeah, I was going to say, the good news is they face a Nuggets team who's like real good at home. We just mentioned it as we bring in Tim Legler now to break down what's facing the Lakers 0-3. Level of concern as they remain without LeBron and everybody else is climbing the standings?
Well, first of all, El, based on what you just said on who's out tonight, it's a lock the Lakers win this game, right? I mean, that's the way it usually goes in Vegas. So. But listen, obviously they're going to have to concede this game tonight. But more importantly, what they look like without LeBron right now, particularly defensively, and against the Bucks, I will disagree with J.J. Redick a little bit. I wasn't sure how hard I would say they were playing. I didn't think their defense was particularly tough. I don't think they offered a whole lot of resistance to the Bucks, who did pretty much what they wanted. They were on pace to score 140 points in that game. The defense is really where this team has hung their hat for the last 6 weeks. LeBron is a huge part of that. He's actually had one of the better defensive years of his career. And you can just see the lack of physicality without him on the floor. So right now, all that momentum they built up is gone. The question that remains is how long will he be out? How far do they fall waiting for him to come back? There's still time to get it together, find their rhythm, and be a threat in the West because of how well they were playing before he got hurt. But right now, this boat is taking on water while they wait for reinforcements to come.
I was going to say, it wouldn't be a foregone conclusion that even if they had everyone and were at their full strength, they'd beat the Nuggets. Because if you go back to the 2022-23 season, the Nuggets have won 13 of their last 15 against those very Lakers. On the other end of the spectrum, Lakers losing a lot. Warriors are on a 6-game win streak after beating the Kings last night. Let's talk threat. How big of a threat are they actually in the West, Legs?
Listen, I think right now when you look at the Western Conference, you got OKC clearly on a different level than everybody else. I think that spot for number 2 and who is the last team standing is wide open. And the Golden State Warriors are making a case that they're in that mix. And I have to say, I agree with people that think that. When you just look at the defensive metrics, they look an awful lot over the last month, what they look like during their championship years. Like that's where they really get it done every night. The shooting can be a little fickle with this team, but the defense is showing up on a nightly basis. We know the impact Jimmy Butler has had on the overall IQ of the team, the toughness. We've talked a lot about what it means for him to get to the free throw line and helping their offense. There's a vibe and an energy and a confidence level about this team right now that makes me think, hey, any of these teams can avoid Oklahoma City. In other words, don't end up 8, don't end up 4-5. Avoid them as long as you can. And I think you got Golden State, you got Minnesota, you got Denver. I think all three of those teams, and the Lakers, all of those teams can lay claim to the second best team in the Western Conference right now, the way that this is shaping out.
When you talk about impactful trades at the deadline, Warriors now 13-1 when Jimmy Butler plays this season. Let's stay in the West and talk about another team that's on a win streak, the T-Wolves, also riding a 6-game win streak, and they're going to look to extend that tonight. What kind of threat do you think that they pose in the West?
They're looking scary right now, honestly. Their defense has been the 4th best in the league during that stretch over the last 2 weeks. And that's really, if you think about their identity over the last couple of years, that's what it was all about for them. That is really what got it done in that Denver series a year ago when they upset them, winning a Game 7 on the road. Those numbers are starting to look like they did the last couple of years. Here's the good news for Minnesota, too. They've got 7 out of the next 8 at home. And they are virtually on the absolute heels of the Golden State Warriors, trying to get out of the play-in and secure the number 6. Right now, the schedule's in their favor. All those home games, several of those games against lottery teams. Minnesota is finally fully healthy. They've had a lot of different guys out throughout the year. I think we're finally seeing what they are capable of. Defense is back. Everybody's playing. Schedule's favorable. That means Minnesota might be a team to keep an eye on here over the next few weeks.
They're also favored tonight against the Magic, 10.5-point favorites in their game. Like a rocket at Christmas. We're showing
at this rate. You can't miss 43 threes in a game and expect to beat good teams. The problem they're going to run into, and really when you look at the Boston Celtics, the only thing that matters is the measuring stick in this league, which is Cleveland and OKC. Those are the 2 teams they're going to have to beat. And those 2 teams make those shots contested. Those are much more difficult shots against those teams. So if you want to take 40, okay, a lot of teams in this league take 40 or the low 40s on a given night. You start getting up 48, 50, 52, 55, 63 threes against those teams, your percentages are not going to be good enough to give yourself a chance to win. I just feel like it became so monotonous what they were doing offensively. Like I said, they can beat a lot of bad teams. They're going to have a very difficult time beating the 2 teams that we're talking about in order to repeat. And that's really what this comes down to. They are going to play the Cleveland Cavaliers in the conference finals. I will be shocked if they do not. And most likely, if they're able to survive the Cleveland series, you get OKC in the finals. No team in this league covers the three-point line and contests the three-point line the way OKC does. So you're not going to give yourself enough of a chance to be efficient if those are the numbers that you're putting up there from the three-point line.
That's fair enough. That's true. That's yes, and that's one conversation. The video there was not one player standing inside the three-point line in that last play that we just showed you. Not one player standing physically inside. Well, I guess Derek White is out of bounds, but outside of that, there's no one standing inside the three-point. Where is it? Look at this.
It is Mike D'Antoni's dream. This is the spread offense in the NBA. This is what he really brought to the league in 2004 with the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns. He loves this kind of offense because it is different. Now, some of these shots we're showing, the step back from Tatum, those are rhythm shots. He was clearly not in rhythm. You know when this gets ugly? When they miss 22 threes in the second half. But let's remember, to say they can't win a championship playing this way, they literally did last year. 50% of their field goal attempts in the finals against the Mavericks were threes. They're outscoring teams by over 15 points a game from three-point range. That's what they're doing, just literally from the three-point shot. They are arrogantly defiant about this approach. This is how they believe they can win. They did it last year. They're taking it to another level this year. And I still have to see a team that can outscore them from two, because 33% from three is equal to 50% from two. So you can have all the layups you want, you can have all the putbacks you want, but we will devastate you with three-point shots, and they've done it.
It's simple math. That's